Let's talk about long-term investments and let's talk about our pensions because that's something we should all worry about. And we have the option of the NPS now, which ideally from design should be fantastic, but the returns not so good. So I want to bring in Dhirendra Kumar. We would compare it to the other options we have in the market. Does it make sense for us to put our money in the NPS, or should we be taking Nikunj's advice and investing directly in the stock market? Let's bring in Dhirendra Kumar. Dhirendra, thank you so much for joining us. I want to do a quick review of the National Pension System, or the NPS. It is one of the options we have so far. If you look at the returns that we've seen, 8.6% on debt, not so impressive on equity. Is it better than the other options we have in the market?
There are quite a few fund managers who are fairly impressive, but I think it is premature to judge these funds, the NPS plans, based on one-year performance. NPS itself is relatively new, and the way it is structured, they have to work in a boundary. If you look at the equity plan, the one-year return may not be enough. At the same time, it's a fairly constrained portfolio, because if you look at the investment universe of the NPS equity allocation or the equity plan of the NPS, it is not supposed to invest anywhere beyond the large caps. It has a defined investment universe. Of course, it is not an index fund because the fund managers can allocate differently, but the investment universe is all defined. So in that sense, given the constraints and given the time frame so far, I think it is premature. One-year return should not be the guidance for your 20-year or 25, 30-year-old long investment. But if somebody who is risk averse and has a shorter time frame, PPF could be attractive as a standalone ATC investment. Nothing beyond that.
But then it's not just about, whether or not I'm risk averse. If we look at the returns that the NPS has given over the last 1 year on their debt-only plan, it's not impressive at all. Does the PPF then score over the NPS because it's a guaranteed return, and that would make more sense for someone who's risk averse?
If you're looking at a retirement plan, I don't think it is. One should be evaluating it based on the performance of NPS so far. Looking at this design of NPS, structure of NPS, I think things will work out nicely, because NPS, the underlying bond holding, don't get carried by 8.6% return or the relatively lower return in the corporate bond portfolio, because last year was a very disappointing one. Even the long-term bond funds have not been able to deliver as much return, or they are little lower than what NPS has given. But on a 5-year time frame, I think the return will very much get aligned with the prevailing interest rate. And because it's a buy and hold portfolio, the fund manager is unlikely to book losses. But so the accrual on these funds will go up, and this year should be, and on a 2-3 year basis, the average return will be much better.
So Dhirendra, so far you've told us not to make up our mind based on performance. You said the performance will get better, but there are flaws in this system like there are in any others. Give us your final verdict for someone looking to invest this year. Does the NPS make sense or not?
The advantage of NPS is 2-3 things which one should keep in mind: low expense, transparent structure, and it's the only truly retirement-oriented saving. There are a couple of disadvantages too, which is the EET which is provided in NPS is disadvantageous. But I think for most people who are getting started now and have 15-20 year time frame, this anomaly should disappear.
In the final verdict there is to just wait and watch, and we'll see how the NPS does and make up our mind about it. And of course, you'll get reviews about the NPS on a regular basis on this show. Let's take a few questions from viewers who've come in. Sachin has written in. He currently puts about 1,000 rupees a month in the HDFC Balanced Fund. He's looking to make one more investment with a 3-year horizon. He wants to choose between ICICI Prudential Dynamic, Discovery, or Focused Blue Chip, all from the same fund house. Dhirendra, for only 3 years, does it make sense for him to go all equity?
One is that for a 3-year time period, it is undesirable to consider an all equity fund. So from that standpoint, even though ICICI Prudential Dynamic and ICICI Prudential Discovery Fund are impressive funds, but they could be extremely disappointing given your time frame. Though I'm hopeful that the next 3 years is unlikely to be that disappointing, but you never know. So I would say that still err on the side of caution. The money which is going into balanced fund is still risky, but far less riskier than an all equity fund. And so I would say that either you start investing more, 1,000 rupee more in the same balanced fund. Alternatively, consider another balanced fund. I would say ICICI Prudential Balanced Advantage could be another good option to supplement your investment.
All right, let's take another question. Karthik has written in, he invests 1,000 rupees a month in HDFC Top 200 and the DSP BlackRock Top 100 fund now. He started last year, and we know that both of these funds have had a tough year. In the last month, he started investing another 1,000 rupees in the ICICI Prudential Focus Blue Chip. He's looking to make 2 crore rupees in the next 30 years. He wants to know if he's picked the right funds. First of all, Dhirendra, all of his money is in large cap funds. Also, even if he gets about 12% annualized from these investments, he'll still be at about 1 crore rupees. Is his target too ambitious at this point?
The funds you have chosen are good, but they are not the finest one. On top of it, the 3 funds you have chosen are going to be strictly large cap, and even in any kind of market, they will remain invested in large cap stocks only. And there are times when other parts of the market do better, but these funds are designed in a manner that they will keep away from that. So, given your time frame, I would suggest that you should choose funds which have flexible mandate, the funds which can invest all across the market, not necessarily only in large caps or only in small and mid caps. From that standpoint, consider funds which are in the large and mid cap category or are multi-cap category, and you can do it. You can do your incremental investments there, and you can move these investments that you have made so far once they are 1 year old.
All right, I'm told we have time for one last question. The Anuraj has written in, he's looking to start an SIP in equities, both international and Indian, because he's looking to study overseas in the next few years. He has an investment horizon of 3 to 5 years and a budget of 10 to 15,000 rupees a month. He wants to know what funds he should invest in. So obviously there's a currency risk as well, Dhirendra. Should he be just looking at international funds right now?
For your education abroad, it will be useful to be investing abroad, because the money that you will invest, at least it will be protected against rupee depreciation, and that could come in very handy. So even if your money is growing in rupee terms in domestic investments, and it does very well, despite that, if the rupee depreciates, the money which you will remit abroad will be much lower. So at least you will be able to hedge against a decline in the rupee value. That apart, there are markets, even global markets or different other international markets might do better. Generally, I suggest that one should diversify while investing abroad, but there are funds which are domiciled in US, which will come in that framework itself, because the underlying companies are globally diversified. So if I have to suggest you 1 or 2 such options, I would say Birla Sun Life International Plan A is a good choice. That apart, Franklin's US Opportunity Fund is another good option. Besides that, other US other international funds focused on the US market will also be attractive option for you.